You want Philly, Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We're talking about practice.
Because it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we ought to be in at least.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look.
Woo! Here we go.
They say.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome everybody to the second edition of the Philly podcast presented by the sixpackcoverage.com and the Six Pack Coverage Network. I'm Eric Perugini. This is Chris Lahiff. And guess what? The Philadelphia Eagles are actually in the playoff hunt. I mean, can you believe this shit? I'm just going to say it. Like, coming into the season, I was one of the people that said, look, these guys, they are what they are. They're probably going to 4 wins, maybe 5, but I had them at 4. And as soon as they went above their win total from last year, I was like, this season's a win. That's all there is to it. This season's a win. There's growth. Well, here we are. What, they're sitting at 500, Chris?
No, they're a game over 500.
They're a game over 500 now. Okay. So my math is off. Go back to remedial. So, yeah, I mean, we actually have meaningful football coming. And who would have thunk this?
Not me. Well, you obviously you get the people who, like today, 6 months ago, June 24th, Chris Seams tweeted out his top 40 picks on quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts didn't make the list. A lot of people were up in arms. Again, the fan base was split in half, 50-50 on the Jalen Hurts situation. And given so, you didn't know what you had. And I'm looking at the list now, and it really is a disgrace. I get why he didn't make the top 40. Like, let me rephrase it. Why he didn't make the top 32. He probably should have been 33. There were a couple players he had on there which he probably shouldn't have. I mean, obviously, if you do the list now, he probably makes top 15. Whatever. You text me saying that, somebody's responding to a tweet from Chris Sims. I'm like, and again, I don't run our Twitter account. Eric does all that. I go on it occasionally. I tweet out a couple things. Like I just retweeted the show off of Six Packs coverage. So, I had commented and I said, Chris Sims, former quarterback, he gets paid by Pro Football Focus. The guy knows what he's talking about. Oh, all right.
Sorry.
A little bit of an overlay. Guy knows what he's talking about. He's on record as coming out and saying that Patrick Mahomes was his best quarterback of that draft the year he was taken, and that Andy Reid's a genius. He got killed for it. Mm-hmm. We see what Patrick Mahomes is. 50 touchdowns, MVP winning Super Bowl winning quarterback. So I had commented underneath, and I was like, somebody had said something about, Joe Giglio, however you say his name, from 94. He can't wait to prove the doubters wrong. Whatever. I commented underneath. I said, I'm going to take his word. I said, but don't get me wrong. Again, I hope I'm 100% wrong in eating crow. And I've come on here, starting with before the first Giants game, saying that Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I've said it. He's constantly getting killed by this fan base. The other side of the fan base who defended the previous quarterback. They're talking about, like, they were ripping him last week. Hurts, and I'm like, for what? You ripped him on the Giants game. You ripped him on the Redskins game. Why? Yes, you know what? He made a couple boneheaded plays where he got, they got lucky. The first interception that was overturned. It was a terrible throw. Terrible decision. And then he fumbled, and Goddard was there to fall on it. Unfortunately, that's football. And, I've seen a couple tweets around, a couple things on social media saying that the Eagles, they're not a playoff team. They're not this, they're not that. somebody said that they we'll get to that in a minute, Bruce. That they're not a playoff team. Why aren't they? We didn't make the schedule. We don't control the injuries.
We definitely don't control COVID.
We don't control COVID. So they're 8-7. Let's be realistic. They probably should be 9-6. You're right. They are a playoff team right now, Drew. And I'm tired. No, I'm tired of they're not good enough. Why aren't they good enough? They're deep. I've said before, I said at the beginning of the season, their defense is going to be what is going to keep them in games. I mean, obviously, last week's game was a complete utter embarrassment to the New York football team. But because they play teams without who haven't had quarterbacks, because they play teams without who didn't do this, who didn't do that. Well, if you're going to play both sides, another certain fan base who's going to sit there and say, it's not our fault who we play. All right, well, the Dallas Cowboys have beaten one team. They beat the Chargers. Every team they've beat the shit out of bad teams. They've beat the absolute balls off of bad teams. Like bad. Like their average score against the NFC East is by like 20 points. It's bad. Like that game Sunday night was 42-7, and I was like, what the hell is going on? But if the Eagles get in and they're the 6th seed, it's quite possibly the worst thing that can happen in Dallas because they're going to have to play the 6th seed, who's going to be Arizona or the Rams. We're on record as talking that it's going to, in our opinion, it's going to be a Rams Kansas City Super Bowl. Like right. I don't know what else. Like the Rams look like 3 weeks ago, they looked like, the Cleveland Browns. Now they look like the Rams at the beginning of the season, which is bad for teams. Like always remember, wild card teams that get hot at the right minute, they look, the 2010 Packers. I'm on record saying whoever wins that game between the Eagles and the Packers is going to win the Super Bowl because they were two of the hottest teams in the NFL at that time. Packers won because Riley Cooper doesn't know how to commit offensive pass interference. The 2007 Giants, they got hot at the right moment. The 2010 Giants, they got hot at the right moment. They got hot at the end of the season. It's hard to stop a hot team. So right now, the Eagles are 5-2 in their last 7 games. They could very well be 7-2 winning out this season. And I know that you're not confident with the Dallas Cowboys. I am not worried about the Dallas Cowboys for a couple of reasons. It's not the same team. We're not the same team we were in week 3. We're not. Like, you can have your delusional Cowboy fans who are going to sit there and say that they're going to blow everybody out. Dallas is not coming out and blowing people out. They're not. Trayvon Diggs has 11 interceptions, which is a phenomenal stat. It's
amazing.
He's an Asante Samuel sort. Like he's getting the ball. He's also giving up 120 yards a game passing. That's not going to work in the playoffs. Like if Odell Beckham or if they play, Cooper Kupp's going to burn him all day. I'm sorry. Like Cooper Kupp's going to embarrass him. Cooper Kupp's going to embarrass he's the best wide receiver in the league. He's going to embarrass anybody. Like he's ridiculous. He should have been drafted in the first round, and for some reason he fell. I kind of remember like him and like the discussions that were had about him being drafted. I forget who was looking at him, but and then so to go back to the point is we don't control who we play. It's not we didn't have our guard, Landon Dickerson, against the Redskins, and the second big news story out of the NFL is Carson Wentz is on the COVID list because he came in contact with someone and he's not vaccinated. Oh well,
we got the pick.
We got the pick. I hope Indianapolis loses out because I don't think Miami's ever going to lose another game ever again. They look like the worst team in the league. 14. I'm sorry. What are we? I don't even know what week 8. Week 8. They look like the worst team in the NFL, and now they look like the undefeated Dolphins of the 70s. Like,
and Jalen Waddle is going for the receptions record it for a single season in the NFL, like a rookie.
He's got that many. I honestly don't know how many catches Jalen Waddle has.
Yeah, he legit is going for. He's I think he's going for the single season record that was put that Anquan Bolden has. I think from 2001.
As a rookie.
Yeah,
you're right.
I think it's as a rookie. Or
you're right. No, you're right. You're right here because the NFL record's like 140 catches. I feel.
Yeah.
So. Good. Listen, Jalen Waddle's a good player. Like you can't say anything.
He's my keeper.
So you got that going. Again, you can't control who the Eagles play. Yeah, and Miami just messing up our draft position. He's 100% right, dude. It looked like at one point we were gonna have like 3 top 5 picks. Like
it looked that way.
At week 5, I was like, all right, we're rebuilding. Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. I don't know where we're getting a quarterback from, but we're gonna have 3 top picks. We're about to have 3 picks in the top 25. And they're going to be, what? It's going to be 24, 25, and 26. I swear to God, that's what it's going to be.
And you know what? Howie's going to trade them, one of them, 2 of them. Something's going to happen. I mean, they're going to get moved. I mean, if people think that they're actually selecting all 3, you're fooling yourself. They're not going to select all 3 picks. They're going to move them, and Howie's going to do it how he does and gain more assets.
Yeah, I just don't understand why our fans are being so skeptical. Enjoy the playoff run. And right now, it doesn't matter where we pick.
No,
we still have 3 draft picks. Does it matter where we pick right now? Like it's not like last year where we were terrible. We had 4 wins, and we went into that Washington game. Again, Doug Peterson doesn't pull Jalen Hurts. We don't have Devonta Smith. We don't have Miami's pick.
Nope.
So, what else do you want? I think he did it perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
definitely.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'll let you go on for a little bit because I went on my little rant and what you
how
you feel.
No,
I know you feel a little differently about the playoffs. Excuse me.
Well, I feel a little differently about that last game. Like I know, like I want that help that we need these last couple of weeks because I don't see the last game of the year. If it comes down to us playing Dallas and having to win that game, I don't care what the situation is for Dallas. I think they're going to try and just blow us out of the water early and then sit their starters. I think they're going to come out and say, "Nah, sorry, no, this is we're not letting you take this from us or take the spotlight, beating us to get into the playoffs." Because no matter what, there's such a hate relationship with the Cowboys and the Eagles. No love-hate, it's hate.
Although they did trade with us so we could get Devonta Smith.
No, yeah, they did trade with us, and I'm still shocked by that. Like hell froze over, and that's what happened. So, but yeah, if the Eagles do make it into the playoffs, the experience is going to be invaluable for not just the players and Jalen Hurts, but it's going to be invaluable for Nick Sirianni and the development of the coaching staff and then the players. The only thing that has me worried if they make the playoffs is there's absolutely no way you can continue to rush as a team for 200 yards a game in the playoffs. There's just no way. So at some point, they're going to have to really mix up the plays and get some passes in there. Where I am a little nervous when it comes to the passing game, because if Jalen Hurts wants to take that ascension to be the actual franchise quarterback, he doesn't miss a wide open Dallas Goedert in the end zone standing around doing jumping jacks. Like a franchise quarterback sees that, recognizes it, and throws the ball in there to the player. Now, I'm not trashing him. It's just a part of his game that he needs to develop. Like, he needs to see the full field. He needs to see what's happening. And this is coming off of a game where he was actually playing like a pocket quarterback. He was scanning the whole field, and that one play he just missed. But I'm not going to kill him for it. He had a great game. And the team had a great game. Their defense had a great game. You know, I mean, we saw Lane Johnson score a touchdown. You know, oh yes, see there's the lead in for the video. You got it ready? Come on,
Yeah, I
come
got
on. Let's go.
That'd be a
Here's
big
my
goal.
man.
2 running backs out. Off the fake to Boston Scott to the end zone. Touchdown, Lane Johnson. The right tackle.
Is he going to get up there, Kenny?
I mean, dude, that's just awesome. Like for
Like he tried to do the Lambo leap and couldn't get all the way up there. Like,
and you know what? And you
and
know
they were
what?
trying
That's
to pull him up. Like, you're not 320 pounds.
and you know what? It's totally awesome. After like basically the season he had, you know, where he had to take some time off, you know, and get himself straight.
But you see, and you look at stuff like that, and you look at what we went through with him, with his, you know, and then you look at, like, you know, the karma, because I'm a big believer in karma. Like, I feel like if you do things for good, you know, you look at, like, again, and I'm not saying the Eagles win a Super Bowl. You look at the 2017 season and all the stuff that came back, that did all the charity work that the Carson Wentz's did, the Nick Foles, the Jay Ajayi's, like all the stuff that they did, the Chris Longs, who donated his entire salary to where did he to Philadelphia, to New England, and to St. Louis, or where the Rams, wherever he donated his salary. And you saw, and I'm a big believer in karma comes back on you 100% full. And you saw, like, it's just, you know, there's stuff like that it gets you like, all right, there's something special brewing here. There's something special brewing here. You know, again, we can't control who we play. If we go out there and we beat the Washington football team, and if Green Bay absolutely obliterizes Minnesota, which I think they will, you got to remember something. Minnesota beat them earlier in the season. So you don't think that's not on Brett Favre, who congratulations to Rodgers for beating the all-time passing touchdowns record. But if you don't think that's on Aaron Rodgers' crazy-ass mind, you're insane. He's going to go – he might throw for 4 touchdowns and 400 yards. And San Fran playing the Texans. Like, and you gotta remember, you gotta look at something. Like, I get, like, all the teams are going to be trying to get everything done this week because nobody wants to play week 17. Nobody wants week 17. So if for some reason the playoff spots get locked up for the wild card in the first and this weekend coming up, I don't expect Jimmy Garoppolo to play. I don't expect Jalen, unless it's like a series or two. So
Garoppolo's hurt.
Again?
He got hurt. He did something with his hand. He's got like some kind of a bone fracture. So right now they're saying like he's really up in the air, and it looks like Trey Lance is going to get the start.
Well, I mean, listen, San Fran still got a decent defense. Like, they're not no slouch. They're 8-7 for a reason.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned defense. What's gotten into the Eagles' defense as of late? They've been playing.
You know what it is? Good. They're running the ball. They're running the ball, and they're not on the field.
Yeah.
When you control the clock, your defense will benefit from it. You know, middle of the season, it was Darius Slay. Now it's you got the TJ Edwards. Obviously, you got this play.
Leonard's pass picked off, and it's Alex Singleton who takes it all the way back into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Speaking of defensive scores, I love that even more.
Yeah, I mean,
you got plays like that are happening. So, you have that. Thanks, Darth Pooh. So, you have that, and when your defense is well rested, they're not gassed. They're not, huffing and puffing, and they're not struggling to make a tackle here and there. You're going to have to beat these teams who are going to come out. Like, you're going to have a 45 to 40 to 20 minute ball control.
Right.
I mean, the Eagles controlled the ball against the Giants almost the entire first half, and they were 3-3. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. We're doing this again. I'm like, please, I don't want to rip Jalen Hurts because he can't beat another NFC East division. And granted, I know Daniel Jones was out. You had Jake Fromm, who looked like we seriously looked like we couldn't beat Jake from State Farm in the first half. Like, it was that bad. And then,
it really was.
And then they came in, they made adjustments, and let's ran the ball and then knocked him out. Then Mike Lennon came in, long neck, and he did some plays. Now, I'm going to talk about another thing that we didn't talk about before when we were backstage that I'm going to bring up. And I'm on record as saying it, and I don't care. Stop with the booing of Jalen Reagor. Stop it. He had a nice 39-yard punt return. He had a decent game against the Washington football team. He had 3 catches for 57 yards. He's making the plays. We know he's not Justin Jefferson. We had Phil Andrews on here 3 weeks ago, and he said the same thing that I said. Justin Jefferson would not be putting these numbers up in here as he would be in Minnesota. And, you can say what you want about Howie Roseman, and I'm not making excuses for him. But you got to look at the plays that you make. You got to look at, yes, he may hit 2 bad plays against the Giants. He's played better since then. I don't know if anyone's known, Jalen Reagor has played better since then. He's doing decent on punt returns. He had 18 yards here, 12 yards there. I don't think people realize how good, or not how good that is, but how important catching a ball at the 10 and taking it to the 24 on a punt return is. Like, you'd rather boo than look at the good at this kid's doing. Minnesota has to pay Kirk Cousins $42 million next year.
Yes,
$42 million.
42, and he's terrible.
Like, you can say what you want about Howie and his misses on his draft picks, but he's not doing it. And you're right, and that's where I'm going, Drew. A post that's made up the other day that on social media about the Chris Carters, the Randy Mosses, and now the Justin Jeffersons. There's 2 Super Bowls between the 3 of those players. None of them have a Super Bowl ring. Yes, they're great wide receivers. They're phenomenal. They were the best at their position. 0 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Randy Moss didn't have that many playoff wins till he went to the New England Patriots. Then when he went to the Super Bowl with the Niners in 2012. So let's go with that. And you're right, Drew. I don't think Minnesota loses this week. They're out. Like, that's all there is to it.
That's all there is to it. Yeah, they're done.
They're out. So he can put up 2,000 yards and be on a 5-12 team. And I'm not going to care if Jalen Reagor has 600 yards receiving, but he's contributing a little in his way for my team to be better. If they're doubling Devontae and he's catching the ball and he's getting 10 yards after the catch, unlike Zach Ertz, who gets 12 yards and falls down. Like, nope, I'm not running. He gets no yards after catch. He is not the Yak guy. Yak guy is not
Zach.
And that's fine. Listen, we all love Zach. Our old co-host is not a fan of Zach Ertz. Says it wasn't a catch in Super Bowl 52. I don't know how, but whatever.
I'll tell you how. He's a Patriots fan. That's why. Which, by the way, look out on the Six Pack Coverage Network for the New England Patriots podcast. I'll be coming out with our old co-host, Pat Houseman.
Yes. So with that, I'm going to do a little cheer, a little Corona, since, we're still in a somewhat pandemic, to Jalen Reagor.
Well, I'll join you with a nice Deer Park. No advertising here. It's just what I have.
No, when I left the thing real quick, when you were still talking, I went and got my beer. So nice. You get it. Like, we keep booing our fan. You keep booing, and you're just like, stop. Like, the guy, like, booing does like, I get it. It's your right. You know, again, I'm not the guy. We've always had this conversation. I don't bill. It's just not. It's not who I am, and I'm not disagreeing with you. Not disagreeing with the people who were booing him, but we're winning, and you're still booing this guy.
Well, see, here's the other thing that people aren't realizing. Now, I mean, I was on Twitter and I was saying, "Oh man, you know, this is like, oh, if we're hearing Jalen Rager's name, something's wrong." When really it wasn't, because they had to start paying attention to Jalen Rager, and then look who started to show up more in the game and had his Michael Jackson type catch.
Dude, I don't know how he. That was the weirdest. I don't understand. Like, so they said it wasn't a touchdown.
First it was a touchdown. Then it was challenged, and they said, "Oh no, not challenged." First they called touchdown. Then it was said, "No, it's not a touchdown." Then it was challenged, and they're like, "Yes, it is a touchdown."
What?
I was like, "Wait."
I was watching that game, and I'm like, I was 0 beers in, and I'm like, I feel like I'm drinking. I don't know what just happened, but how is this? How are we challenging this? Like, and the only thing I can think of is, I guess, on touchdown reviews, certain angles are looked at, but when it's actually challenged by the coach, like, you got to look at. That's the only thing I can think of.
They look at every other angle. They look at every angle.
And I don't know what angle they looked at the first time that they were like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Normally they will show you the angle that they got for the challenge, but we didn't get that for the game. And at this point, like, who cares? It got finally made. The official call was a touchdown, and
second week in a row, Jalen's made a really good throw.
Yeah,
on a touchdown.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, last week before this past game, it was that one to Greg Ward, which was
I still don't know
a bullet, and I don't know how Greg Ward caught that, because I'm not a fan of. It's Greg Ward. I'm not a fan of that guy at all. I'm like, look, you know, practice squad players are practice squad players to me, you know. But then again, you got guys like Boston Scott who are,
here's the Jalen Hurts' touchdown pass to Greg Ward and Devonta Smith.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, it was. Because I was trying to lead into that, though, with the people on Twitter. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty bad when you hear Jalen Rager's name a lot, but then you got to start paying attention to the guy, and then it opens up. It opens up Devonta Smith, who is like literally one of the best route runners for a young wide receiver in the game today.
All right, so Ange, I hope you're still watching, because I just saw our comment. For some reason, it doesn't show up on my page. He said, "Oh my God, if y'all go to the playoffs and play Dallas in a wild card game and win, it'll be hell on Facebook, because Cowboy fans will have all those T-shirts and caps for another year with no playoff win." Oh my God,
that would be funny. That would be funny. That I would enjoy.
We got to get Ange on here, because she's a Giants fan. So I'm gonna see if I can get her on here. She ain't gonna come on though. She's probably drinking. She might be the only Giants fan that I like other than Barry.
That's funny, man.
Yeah. So what else she said? She said, yeah, Eagles defense has become even better as the season went on, and now she's like, you're fifth now in yards allowed. And she knows her shit. Like,
she knows her shit, and she's right.
Listen, I told you, I don't ever argue sports with Ange. Like, we go back and forth. Like, she posted a thing today, and Dallas fan don't make Ziamba mad. And she got Dallas fans in their feelings today. And I was like giving her a virtual high five. I was like, you got him. Like, and you were just like, and she was just like joking, but she got them in their feelings real bad. You all right?
Yeah, it's just my girlfriend trying to come through the locked patio door.
Cool.
I'm like, what? I'm like, someone's breaking into my apartment right now. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Right.
Let me go off screen.
I got you. So why Eric comes back? So I know Mark's asking about Frank Ziemba. So Frank is a Dallas fan. He's a Tampa Bay fan. He's from PA, like the Ben Salem area. So a bunch of people, you know, everyone knows Frank Ziemba in the Facebook groups if you're there. You know, he's a funny guy. He's really not that bad. He gets in his moments, but he's a Dallas fan, and he's going to be mad. So it's going to happen, and you got to be okay with it. Listen, it's all fun. We're on social media. We're here to have fun. You can't get mad at each other. You know, there's zero reason to get mad. You get on here, you have fun. Like me and Eric, we're coming on, we're talking sports. Our show is brought to you by, the Six Pack Coverage. Give them, check out their website. They have a lot of shows. So, like he said, we brought up our old co-host. We'll get back to our local stuff, eventually. But until the Eagle season's done, this is Six Pack is our number one coverage. Then we're going to do playoffs, and then there'll be a lull here. So we'll go back to that. But you come on social media, you have fun. You don't get mad at people. You can't get mad. And there are people who legitimately take this stuff to heart. Again, I reiterate in the beginning of the show that someone commented on a tweet from June, and I'm all about trolling people. You want to troll and have fun, but don't look like a fool doing it, because it's not like I came out and said, I agree with you 100%, Jalen's going to suck. What I said is I agree with Sims. I hope I'm 100% wrong. And I am 100% wrong. And I've said I've been 100% wrong. I said it like 7 weeks ago. I said I was wrong. People sit there and say, that I have a Carson Wentz crush, this and that, whatever. If I have a Carson Wentz crush, so what? But the guy's he's a good quarterback. He doesn't stink. He threw 12 times and threw for 57 yards 2 weeks ago. And then when you turn around and say, about stats, and then when you bring up stats, it's like, well, who's talking about pass attempts? Well, in the chat, my man, you brought up the pass attempts, not me. You brought it up, not me. And I just reiterated my statement towards you. Not my fault you didn't like that my statement was a little bit better than yours.
Well,
so
here's the thing that makes me laugh. People are talking about the Indianapolis Colts and it's real easy to just, hike the ball and hand it off to your running back. What have the Eagles been doing?
It doesn't make sense. Jalen Hurts only ran 3 times last week. It wasn't like he ran 10 times for 80 yards. No, he handed the ball off, and but he didn't really have to do anything last week because it was just the defense just absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean,
cheers to Alex Singleton and his touchdown.
But I laugh at the people that say that. They keep bringing up, oh yeah, he's so great that he had, the one game he threw for 57. Yeah, 57 yards. And the running game, well, Jonathan Taylor, he's all they got, but he went off. And I was like, well, what about when Jalen Hurts only throws for 100 yards and the team is rushing for 200 yards? You know what I mean? It's there's no difference. There's just no difference in it. They're doing the same thing. It's just Hurts is part of the running attack where Wentz is not. So I don't know. It's some of the people just make me laugh. I sit there and I'm like, okay, whatever. But
and that's the thing is, it's I don't care about Carson Wentz now. We got our draft pick. It's going to be a first round pick. They're not winning the Super Bowl.
No. So
if they do, I'll be mad. I don't fucking lie.
But
Excuse my French. I'll be mad if they win the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. Can you? I swear to God, it's and he beats Tom Brady.
Could you imagine that? Because that game against Tampa Bay, that was a really good game. He showed up for that game, and he played well, even though Tampa did win. That guy, he did play well, and I was like, oh, why couldn't that have happened here? But anyway, but no, back to the playoff stuff. But no, I do. I think the level, of course, we all know that the level of play goes up exponentially in the playoffs. My concern with the playoffs is that because you're not going to be able to run for 200 yards as a team, in a playoff game, every single game. You're just not going to be able to do it. And I'm starting to get scared with the fact that this is where we need Jalen Hurts to develop and mature. Because I've said before, I don't have a problem with his work ethic, his leadership. I think the kid is amazing in that respect. I love the fact that he told Nick Sirianni to get in his ass if he does something wrong, and Sirianni got in his ass, and he goes, hey, I told coach to do that because I'm a coach's son. I can take it. And I was like, damn, that's pretty damn cool. That's a dude that's saying, give me the crap because I did something wrong. And he owns it. He owns it on the field. He's doing what he's doing, and it's really awesome.
No, you're right. So what else we want to talk about real quick before I want to pull up a stat, but what else? I'm trying to
Oh
think.
well, before when you do the stat, I want to bring this up. But then after the stat, we got to touch on something that news broke a little while ago. But so we were talking about defense, and look at where they were in the beginning of the season to where they are now. Because like Ange brought that up, they're playing so well right now as a defense that Gannon is being rumored to be interviewed for head coaching positions at the end of the season. Like, what? Where did that come from? Like, this was just a few weeks ago. We were talking about running this guy out of town, and now he's being talked about for possible coaching candidate jobs. Which, don't get me wrong, I still think he needs more time, before he gets that legitimate opportunity. But yeah, that's the one thing I wanted to bring up because you were talking about defense and stuff. And I just want to say like the 180 that's happened with Gannon. Not even just the defense, but with Gannon himself. But go ahead, you got your stat.
No, I don't have my stat, but we will go to commercial.
Okay, is this the La Terrain commercial?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, this is our commercial from La Terrain, one of our sponsors. Check it out.
They say every watch tells a story. Family, moments, lifetimes. With La Terrain, this is a watch that spans generations, not just from where it came from, but for where it will go. Knowing one of these, having one of these, is what being a professional, being casual, and being you is all about. From our family to yours, La Terrain.
All right, and thank you for La Terrain for being a sponsor of the Philly podcast, brought to you live every week on the Six Pack Coverage Network.
So you had brought up, running ball, like running the ball,
Right.
and so when McCarthy's Packers won the Super Bowl, and the next year they came out and they in the second round they played the Giants. Giants ran for 150 yards and beat them. So, and granted, Eli Manning threw for 330 yards, but it can be done. Like I know you're worried about it, but it's
Well, I mean, but
there.
you're talking one game there. I'm talking like the Eagles would have to do this every single game because we legit have not seen. Well, I mean, in the last couple. Well, let's put it this way: this past week, we really saw the growth and some development from Jalen Hurts, and his passing game was pretty damn good. Other than just he only had a couple missed attempts, but he played a lot better. He really did. Because I like a pocket passer, and he was like you go back and watch the films. He's legit scanning the field. Again that whole thing with Dallas Goedert. I don't know how he didn't see him.
They had brought that up at the press conference, and I forget what it was. It was, I think the play was to Miles Sanders. I forget what the play was, but there was actually a legitimate reason. But he said I have to make that play. So I'm going to give you another stat.
Go ahead.
The following year, they played San Francisco, and they lost to San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. And they had 248 yards rushing. Granted, they had Colin Kaepernick, and Colin Kaepernick is no Jalen Hurts, but they're built the same. So I know Mike McCarthy has, he's got Micah Parsons, but it looks like it seems like he doesn't make the adjustments that might need to be made in in the playoffs because he thinks he's got Aaron Rodgers. So is he going to go in thinking he's got, well, I got Dak Prescott and I got CeeDee Lamb and I got, Michael Gallup and I got Amari Cooper. So do you think like that maybe that will change his mindset? Like, oh, I'm just going to throw the ball. Well, if you come out and you throw the ball and then you go, say you have 3 series of 3 and out for Dallas and the Eagles have run the ball, or they control the ball and they have 10 plays and they have 10 plays and they have 10 plays. And just say they're all field goals. So now you're up 9-0. You can't get away with beating Dallas with field goals. Right. Obviously, we all know the aggressiveness of NFL coaches now. We know they're going to go for the 4th and 2, the 4th and 1. We know that. I'm just going hypothetically with that. So we just got to wonder because, I don't think Mike McCarthy is that great of a coach. He's a good coach. He's better than Ron Rivera. Don't get me started on the 2-time coach of the year, Ron Rivera, because he wins it 2 times and he's a great coach. No,
Pat's watching. He's going to text you.
I'll send him an invite. He can come on and tell me why. He's like, "Well, I respect him." Well, you can respect him all you want. He's not a good coach. But that's where I was leading in with the stats of how you're worried. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming that the Eagles are going to win this week. I'm assuming the other
hope
2 teams.
So.
Right. I'm assuming. I'm not saying they are. I'm going to place a nice 3-team parlay. Nice little $25 bet on Green Bay, on the Eagles, and on San Fran. Nice little 3-team parlay. I had 10 teams up, and I took that shit right off. But I'm going to put a nice 3-team parlay up, $25. And you know what? If it happens, Eagles make the playoffs, and I win a couple dollars. So I'm just assuming that they're going to win, and that they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to play Dallas.
Yep.
So I don't know why Liz is shaking her head at me, but
yeah, she made her cameo going through. It was fun.
Do we pay extra for a cameo?
I don't know how much you want for your cameo, babe. Look, she's gonna come.
Cheers! Cheers to Alex Singleton again.
Yeah, cheers, Alex Singleton. But hey, before we continue on a little bit more, there was some breaking news that happened right before we came on the air that legendary coach John Madden passed away suddenly at the age of 85. From what I'm reading, it was totally unexpected.
I'm going to hell. He's 85 years old.
Well, I mean, I know he's 85, but I mean,
it's like, and listen, I love Madden. We all love Madden. It's like when people sit there and say, "Well, I wonder what he died of." Skydiving. He crashed his bike during Harley Week. He's 85 years old. I love the guy, but right, and that's funny. And Drew's right. I sent out the text, and was like, "I thought he passed away already." My wife's like, "Isn't he dead?" No. Well, he is now. But yeah, how? Oh my God, I can't believe he died. How'd he die? Well, skydiving.
You know what? You're such an asshole.
Oh man, I'm driving that bus straight to hell. It's
oh my God.
He crashed his bike during Harley Week down in Florida. What do you want?
Oh my God.
The guy was 85 years old. God bless his soul.
Well,
and
anyway.
listen. You got to try to make you got to make everyone laugh in light of the situation. And listen, all respect to John Madden and his family. We love the guy. I loved him in Little Giants. I buy all his video games. I was just playing Madden the last week. I had a couple days off, and we all love the guy. So there's no disrespect. I'm just to try to make people laugh. When you sit there and people are like, "Oh, I can't believe he died. What did he die of?" Like I said, it was unexpected. Again, the guy was 85 years old. The guy lived a full life. He's a Super Bowl winning coach, and not many people realize he was drafted by the Eagles.
Yep, he was.
Not many people realize that he was so he's a legend in Philadelphia, mine. Cheers to John Madden. Yeah, hell's gonna be. I don't know what to tell you. Hell's gonna be nice for me. We gotta.
Oh my God.
We gotta.
Well,
laugh.
Yeah, well, I mean, I literally, I was like, oh my gosh. Now, I was just talking to someone today, and they asked me if I had seen the Fox special that they did for John Madden on Christmas Day, and I said no, I didn't, and I'm hoping it gets replayed so I can record it or watch it. I just found it so like the timing of it was so it's kind of surreal though, like they just did this for him on Christmas Day, and here we are, now it's a few days
Look at
later, he dies.
what's his name a couple of years ago? The Road Warrior.
From the Ultimate Warrior, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
sorry, the Ultimate Warrior, Road Warrior.
Gets
The Ultimate
inducted to
Warrior
the Hall of Fame. The next day he's on Raw.
gives a great speech. Like you sit there and you go back and we got Ty on, and Ty just said, my brothers, Ty is our wrestling guy who's making the move to six pack with us as well. I'm happy for him. But you go back and you watch his speech from the Hall of Fame ceremony. You watch him on, Raw. And you think about how surreal it is. Like, and you sit there and you listen to it. Like when you go back and listen to it, it's almost like he was giving his eulogy. He gave his own eulogy.
Pretty much. That's what it came out to, yeah.
And then he comes back and he passes away, and you're like, I just saw this dude like 4 hours on TV.
Yeah, like literally massive heart attack the day after Raw.
And and again, go back and watch his speech on YouTube. It's a phenomenal speech.
It's amazing.
Like it really is. And him and his wife, and they came out with that award, the Warrior Award. Like it was phenomenal. So, and that's where, he's a legend, and just like John Legend is a legend in his own. Like, listen, John
Legend is a legend. You mean John Madden?
John Madden is a legend in his own.
He is.
It's and like you said, look.
You're really insane, yes.
Like it's you go back and you think of stuff like that. Things happen for a reason. Like
they do.
And everybody will be. You got to figure if it's not on demand on Fox, it's definitely going to be played during the Super Bowl week.
Oh God, yeah, God, yeah.
Listen, John Madden, famous football games. We all played his games growing up. You had it on the PlayStation. You had it on. I'm sorry, you had it on Super Nintendo. Then you had it on PlayStation. Then you had it on PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and now 5.
Still going.
Still going. Like so many years later. Like it's been around forever. Like I was a kid in the 90s.
Madden Summerall. That was that I used to love listening to those guys call games.
And he's bananas too. Pat Summerall was crazy.
Well, Pat Summerall was a functioning alcoholic. He was a mess.
That dude could drink.
Yeah, he could.
He was a kicker in the NFL, right?
I don't even know. I don't even think he knew after a certain amount of time. I mean, but he just played. I don't know. I really don't know. Summerall always made me laugh. He did. Like everyone said Madden was the funny one. I used to laugh at Summerall with how he would react to what Madden was saying.
Oh, listen, let's go back to, Madden and Summerall and in replacements.
Yep.
Like when they were doing the thing with the screen and this and that, and you love to see a fat guy score because now you get to see a fat guy spike and a fat guy dance. Like it's crazy how much of a legend those two guys were. Yes, and he it looks like he played linebacker and kicker. I don't know how he played linebacker and kicker. Jesus Christ. God bless Pat Summerall. But RIP to John Madden, made his career blow up in Little Giants, and in that's when he came big. Little Giants.
Yeah.
So
not winning the Super Bowl. Little Giants.
No. Not beating the Eagles. Not beating the Eagles.
Not with his boom, tough acting, tenactin commercials.
I forgot that. Oh my God. That's a commercial we should have put up. Tough acting, tenactin. All right, so we're heading into week 17.
Mm-hmm.
Are we week 7? Yeah, we're week 17.
This is week 17, yes.
I'm so big game. The Eagles, Washington football team just got blown out so bad. I think Dallas scored on a pick six, a blocked punt, a running touchdown. I don't even know if they returned a kickoff for a touchdown.
Well,
But
did you hear the stat that Dak Prescott had?
No.
First time ever in NFL.
Eight different receivers or something? No, that
Well,
can't be it.
It was threw a touchdown pass to a wide receiver, tight end, running back, and lineman, all in one game. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but I thought that's actually pretty cool because he was asked about it after the game, and then the reporter was like, "Did you know that?" And his face was funny. He's like, "No, I didn't know that." Like who's gonna know that random stat other than a nerd sitting behind a computer doing production for Fox or NBC, whatever channel it was on? So it's crazy.
Do you know who blocked the punt?
What's that?
Do you know who blocked the punt for Dallas?
Oh yeah, 100-yard man in the Super Bowl, Corey Clement.
You got to be kidding me! You got to be just come bite ourselves.
They just had to one-up the Lane Johnson TD.
You know what? Funny. You're very well right. Because, dude, they were blowing them out. There was no reason to throw a pass.
Which is why they're going to start every single starter in the final game and fuck over the Eagles.
And I hope they all get hurt, and I hope they all get the Omicron and they're out.
Oh, my God. He just said he hopes they all get Omicron.
Oh, Omicron's they're comparing it to the flu. I don't wish ill will on them. I'm just saying, so they have to get quarantined. That's all. Nothing. I don't like them getting sick.
He's like, I don't care. Sometimes they just have to quarantine and not play.
Yeah. Well, listen, the NFL makes up their own rules. Like Nick Sirianni had COVID for 4 days. And then he was coaching on the sideline. He literally had COVID.
Yeah.
He had COVID, and they're like, "You're cool." What?
Yeah.
We just make up our own rules. You're cool.
I was like, wait a minute, is this guy have it or not? Or did it turn out he just had the sniffles?
Oh yeah, Nick Sirianni test positive, and then they're like, oh yeah, he'll be on the sideline. Yeah, I'm not standing next to him. Hell with that.
But you're right. The NFL's making up the stuff as they're going along, which okay, I get it. They're trying to do whatever to keep things going, and but he's like, oh, you got a runny nose? He's got COVID. You're vaccinated. You can come back if you have 2 negative tests. You don't have it? Okay, Cole Beasley, you're sitting for 10 days. Carson Wentz, you're sitting too.
Thank you. Thank you, Carson, for not getting vaccinated and helping our draft pick. But yeah,
what timing though? What timing?
Oh God, it's just. And now, someone had posted something in one of the Philadelphia, like Filthy and Philly, like, oh, the Colts are going to re-sign Phillip Rivers, and he's going to play one game. And can you imagine if he leads them to the Super Bowl? I'm like, Carson's not out for the year. He's out for 10 days. It's not like do you think when you make these posts, I laugh, and I'm like, I just looked at it. I'm like, he's not out for the year. I'm like, if he is, good, because then our draft pick's locked in already, unless they run 300.
I was scrolling through social media, and I saw someone wrote, oh, Carson Wentz missing a game. Go figure. And I'm like, it's COVID. He's not hurt. I was like, oh my God. The guy gets so much hate. I love it now. It's hysterical.
It's literally that the hate that Carson Wentz gets still, and the hate that Jalen Hurts gets by Eagles fans. It's not even frustrating anymore. It's just hilarious.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut you off. I got a question for you. The level of, I guess you could call it, hate that Jalen Hurts was getting or is getting this year or was getting, whatever. I was told today that he's getting it worse than Carson Wentz got last year.
And I will agree, only because the Eagles are winning.
Okay. I was kind of going that direction with the person
Wentz
I was
got all the
to.
hate last year, but they sucked as a team and no one else got the blame, which is, again,
right.
There's no reason that the hate that Jalen Hurts is. They're 8-7.
Right.
He's a big reason. You don't want to admit it. These are still NFL players on these other side of the roster, on the other side of that football field. You want to hate Jalen Hurts. Why? Oh, he doesn't have the arm strength. Well, neither did Drew Brees. At all. Drew Brees didn't have arm strength. but he was accurate. That's what's one thing he's got to work on, his reads and his accuracy. And again, I was the biggest guy who killed him, absolutely killed him at the end of it. I was not impressed with him in 2020. So I had my doubts in 2021. And I was on the Fox, or it was a Marquise Foxborough on the Sports Dynasty podcast, and I said I had my doubts about him because, granted, they were 1-3, but they weren't like, all right, they beat the Saints, cool, but that's it. They did not look good those 3 games. I don't care how many yards he threw for. I don't care how many yards he rushed for. They still lost 3 games last year. Like, so, like, I don't understand. Right now, the hate that he is getting, it's unwarranted. It honestly comes back to, you wanted Carson Wentz as your quarterback. That's what it is. And I'm one of the guys who wanted Carson Wentz as the quarterback. But again, Jalen's my guy. I'm going to root for him. Just like I said at the end of last season. I just need to know who the quarterback is so I know which jersey to buy. That's all. That's all I need to know. It ain't that hard.
You brought up the name Drew Brees. Did you
that's crazy.
Did you hear that the Saints reached out to him and he told them, "Well, I'll come back and play, but I have to get the start." And they were like, "Well, no, we can't guarantee that." Like, how are you going to say no to quite possibly your greatest quarterback in franchise history to come back and give you stability at the position? Like, I didn't understand that. How do you tell him, no, well, we can't guarantee you're going to start? Well, guess what? I'm going to stay being an analyst then. And I mean, I'm sorry. I don't understand that at all. You okay there?
No, I'm good.
No,
I'm agreeing with you. So
it was so funny. I was like, my God, I'm speechless.
No, I'm going with a 27-10 win this weekend.
27-10. Okay.
I know you're not. I know you're not super confident.
No, I'm not. Well, look. I mean, they're playing what, Washington, right?
Yeah.
So after what just happened to Washington, they may, like, their defense may be coming out trying to prove something, but I don't know who they. You know what I mean? So it's like,
you don't know which Washington team you're going to get.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get, especially when on national TV you had one of their guys punching another guy. I mean, how embarrassing is that?
Stuck his finger in and then.
Yeah, stuck his finger in his temple and dude stood up and like just jawed him in the face. Like that's on national TV. So now not only were they getting embarrassed, but then they just embarrassed themselves for everyone to see. I don't know what team you're going to see. I really don't, because I mean, like Hall of Famer Ron Rivera is going to sit there and really get up their asses and tell them, that this is what we're going to do. I mean, I don't know, or where's the game? It's in Washington, right? Or is it here?
It's in
Washington. Okay, so like, I'll give the Eagles the edge if they bring their bench with them, like literally bring their benches. Just like Washington did and Dallas did. I mean,
I don't want your cooties. I don't want your cooties.
I don't want your Washington cooties. You rapey team, you. I don't want that stuff. So, you rapey franchise. So, I'm gonna go 24-14. Eagles.
All right. It's a good score. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I don't.
I can't imagine
if it is. God bless the brawl that's going to be on the sideline. It's going to be like
I can't imagine. I literally can't imagine what the Oh God, yeah, no, I'm not sure. But yeah, I can't see a blowout myself either. Now, real quick, I'm going to try and find it real fast. I know I shared it. Here with 2 weeks left, here's the NFL draft order for the top 10 picks.
Not us.
Okay. Jacksonville is number 1. Detroit's number 2. The Houston Texans are 3rd. The Jets are 4th. Giants are 5th. The Jets again at 6 via a trade with the Seahawks. 7, Carolina. 8, the Giants again via the Bears. 9, Washington, where I think that's where Kenny Pickett goes, and then 10 the Falcons. Look at those teams and who needs quarterbacks.
They all need quarterbacks, with the exception of a few of them.
Yeah, like, okay, well, the Texans are going to wind up trading Deshaun Watson. You don't know what they're getting back, if they're getting an actual quarterback back, right? Jacksonville doesn't need one. They got Lawrence.
Jets don't need one.
The Jets don't. Yeah, the Jets just got him. They don't need one. Now the Giants are running it back with Daniel Jones, but I would look at there at 5 to draft a guy. Detroit's at 2. They got Jared Goff. He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. The Panthers at 7. And then again, at 10 you got 9 and 10, Washington and Atlanta. I mean, at some point Atlanta's got to move on from Matt Ryan.
They have to.
At some point they have to do it. So I saw that today and I just started to laugh because one time the Eagles were on there 3 times in that top 10, and now
they're at the bottom.
now they're at the bottom. And the funny thing is, like, their actual pick, it's only going to make a difference of, like, if they make the playoffs, it's only going to make a difference of 2 draft spots.
I want them to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I want them in the playoffs too. So who cares about the difference of 2 slots?
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Drew, Ty, a couple other people. I forget, Mark from one of the groups. Angie obviously said she'll come on. Thanks to Six Pack for, bringing us on. We'll be covering the Philadelphia Eagles for the next year over here at Six Pack. Shout out to Andrew and Albert and everyone over there. Shout out to Pat, who's going to be doing his Patriots podcast soon, and Ty going to be doing his wrestling podcast soon. So, anything else you want to add?
I got nothing else that I want to say. Just hey man, go Birds, and let's see what happens this week.
All right.